This episode is brought to you by Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+. Rated TV MALV. Viewer discretion advised. Maya Lopez has betrayed her mentor, the notorious Kingpin. Now on the run, she returns to her hometown to prepare for the biggest fight of her life. Don't miss Marvel Studios' hardest-hitting series yet. An epic 5-episode event. Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+.
Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey Bloodies, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Bloody Happy Hour. It is Thirsty Thursday.
And, you know, April, we have Tuesday episodes that come out, our quickies.
Yeah.
And we have Thursday episodes come out, which are our full episodes. And we do a little bit more talking on that episode. So we usually record on Thursdays, but we're recording on a Saturday today?
It is brunch happy hour today.
Oh, well, did we change it up for some reason, or what? What happened, April? What's happening?
I don't know what happened. I had an aneurysm.
She basically had a brain aneurysm, and I felt like I was being stood up on a date. I'm over here ready to record, getting all my Manscaped stuff out here, got my ball deodorant and, my weed whacker, ready to just got my drinks. We got some listeners who bought us around, and here I am just sitting and, April didn't show up. And I was like, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, texting, phone call, nothing. Hour and a half. Bitch still didn't respond. We knew she was in a ditch. I was like, is she in the back of a trunk right now? Or is she on the side of the road? Has she been kidnapped? Is she in a shed at gunpoint? Like what? No. This bitch at the nail salon.
Y'all, I don't know what happened to me this week, but it was obviously Thursday. But all day I thought it was Wednesday. All day I thought it was Wednesday. So me and my mom had been wanting to get a pedicure and get our nails done. So I was like, hey, I texted her, let's go. I picked her up. We were sitting there at the nail salon. My mom didn't even catch it. She wasn't like, April, it's Thursday, aren't you recording? So then it's partially her fault. And so Caroline, I finally checked my phone, and Caroline is like, are you kidnapped? And I was like, no, why? So then I call her, and it still doesn't click, and Mike's pissed in the background. Caroline's pissed. And I was like, oh, are they hanging out without me? She's
like, what are y'all doing together?
It still didn't. And then I asked Andrew, my nail guy, I was like, Andrew, what's today? What's today? Andrew's ass didn't even know.
Well, Andrew don't know. Andrew's just doing nails.
Yeah, he says he works every day, so all the days run through. But
anyway, I just had to, make sure everybody was aware of what I had to go through.
Yeah. And then you left me a voicemail, and you were like, well, I kind of just hope you're kidnapped, because then I'm just going to be real pissed if I'm just being stood up.
I was really wanting to get a good story out of it.
At my expense. So it's Saturday, so happy brunch. Except for our brunch is just vodka and orange juice, and a little bit of cranberry.
Yeah, because we are still drinking on this Grey Goose that was bought to us by
Sandra. Thank you.
And Heather and Danielle.
Thank you.
We had to get fancy real fast. You don't even know about it. But first, let's just get this out of the way, because this podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.
Hello, Manscaped.
Manscaped. Y'all know that we have this performance package up here that we have a discount code for, and the code is BHH. And you get this weed whacker, you get ball deodorant, you get toner, you get the lawnmower, the bag, the underwear. What more could you ask for? It's a performance package 4.0, and you go to manscaped.com, you can order it, use the code BHH, you get free shipping, and you get the cleanest balls around.
Cleanest balls around. And let me tell you, she'll be my future sister-in-law. I'm not going to tell you where she's from, but she's from Mississippi. So we might need to have her on the podcast just to hear this, her voice. We need to have her on the podcast.
Okay.
So, anyways, she ordered one for my brother, and she said he was so excited when he opened it up. Like a kid opening up a present on Christmas.
Did she not just got it for him? Not even as a gift? Just as like a...
She was excited to have the results of the performance package like right now.
Yeah.
So it was just random. She was like, I'm ordering him one. He must probably need some help. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's my brother. But it made me think, you guys don't have pampering sets and stuff like that like us women do. Like it's another thing to us, but you guys should pamper yourselves down there because this performance package is right. When you look better down there, you're going to perform a whole lot better.
I mean, I agree. I have a couple friends who ordered it, so I'll have to get their feedback.
Obviously, people I know are loving it, so you should too. Women, order it for your men. And don't forget that code is BHH. Also, we have noticed that there is 2 options. There's that subscription option, which just means you get the performance package, but Val, she did the subscription option because she wants that ball deodorant and that ball toner to be replenished every 3 months. So there's like a $14.99 if you want to do the subscription, but you can order without that subscription. And let me tell you, Caroline is going to need to subscribe because I
cannot not
loves this lotion.
It smells so good. Did I tell you all that every time?
Every time.
Because I can't help it. I have to keep telling you that. So oh God, it's that good. Yep, 20% off plus free shipping. Insert code BHH, manscaped.com. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you ahead of time. What's our story for today?
Wait, one more little side story. Sorry. Did you see Dirty Chad recently?
Oh, my God.
How could you forget? How?
I forgot.
Yeah, I know.
That should have been the first thing we talked about.
I know.
I got the most evil look this past weekend.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I was just at my nephew's soccer game. Turns out he's on the same team as Dirty Chad's son. And I saw him so quick. But it was like a misty day, so I put on my hoodie and I was just trying to Your
BHH hoodie, by the way.
Bloody Happy Hour hoodie. So there was like no hiding it. And so I was just trying to just watch the game. I don't know what's going on with soccer, but I was just trying to watch the game.
It's like this whole time you probably are watching the game and in your head you're just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my
yes.
Gosh. That's how I would be.
Because he prances the field and he yells and he was acting so drunk or high. I couldn't tell which one it was. Either way, he ended up seeing me because he was right next to me and yelling all these things. And so I just look and we make eye contact and he was like, oh, I didn't even recognize your mixed ass. Or he said something I couldn't even tell. It was slurish.
What was the tone of it? Was it like that?
It was face. Yes.
Ugh.
Scrunched up face. He was not happy to see me, obviously. And then went to the other side of the field and he really did not come back by my side the whole time. So of course I'm texting Caroline and Cheryl, fangirl Cheryl, and we're going back and forth and
I had to make another drink. Just listen to this.
So that was it. And I'm probably going to see him for the next couple weekends because I got to keep going to Braxton's games.
Okay, so this was my thing. I said she needs to figure out something to say to him. Y'all need to tell us what she should say.
I don't know.
Because I think she should ask him if he listens to the podcast.
I think he's too out of it to even know there is a podcast.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he just listened to every episode over on the side secretly.
We'll see.
So that was exciting.
It was exciting.
When's the next game? Maybe we'll all go.
This weekend.
Oh, we're there.
Next week, or this coming Saturday. Woo woo woo! There's my Dirty Chad. Then it was like, we need Dirty Chad shirts. We need Dirty Chad decals.
We might.
So next live show, we're probably going to be coming out with some Dirty Chad gear. I mean, let's
be honest. Everybody needs a little bit of Dirty Chad in their lives.
Let's just make them more pissed.
Yeah, if I have to suffer, everybody has to suffer with me.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Here we go with the story.
What is it? I don't even know.
This is a story about love, sex, betrayal, and even alligators.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Did that spark a memory for me? No, actually. Let's do it.
It didn't for me either, even though I've apparently heard of this story a couple times. So this is Jerry Michael Williams. And he goes by Mike, and the rumor was that he went missing, and they couldn't find his body for so long that they declared him dead, and they had assumed because he went missing in Lake Seminole, which is a lake in Florida.
Yeah.
And he's a big hunter, and he was duck hunting, and they assumed he fell out of his boat and drowned and then was eaten by alligators.
They assumed that because he was in Florida.
Because, yes.
I would assume that too.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Mike, who he was like, everybody said he was just super nice guy. He was very hardworking and just an all-around good guy. Like, volunteered, did this, did all the things. So, and he would do anything for anybody. So Mike meets his wife, Denise, back in high school. Okay. So Mike they dated through high school, they dated through college, and then they ended up going to Florida State. And after that, they graduate, they get jobs, and still dating, and then they end up getting married. So Mike came from, like, his background was, grew up really poor. So that's why he's, like, working extra hard to provide for his family. So he doesn't want his wife to have to work. He wants to be able to work and make the money and, not have to have anybody, struggle. Yeah. So Denise for a little bit worked as an accountant, and then Mike worked as at a real estate company. So they finally get married, and they're in Tallahassee, Florida. Well, they have these close friends who also were best friends with them in high school, Brian and Kathy.
Okay.
So
Mike and Denise, Brian and Kathy.
Yes. Everybody, if you need to go look them up because I know I'm visual and it's just easier. So Brian and Kathy were the best friends, or they were the couple. They also dated all through high school, dated through college, and all four of them are basically like Jesse Spano and AC Slater and Kelly Kapowski and Zach Morris. Like, they're a little foursome who are this little posse, and they do everything together.
Upside down pineapples?
That's exactly what I was thinking this first time. Yes, 100%. So they're all out of high school. They've gotten married. They get married the same year as each other. 1994, they get married. They buy houses at the same time, same year. They have kids, same time, same year. They go to football games together. They go to movies together.
No, never going to end good. It really means they're competitive, and they probably hate each other.
We'll find out. Okay. So you see where we're going with this. Like, they're just really close. So, like I said earlier, Mike is a hunter. He goes duck hunting. Well, Brian also goes hunting, and they, go hunting throughout college. That's just the thing they do. They go out there in their camo and their duck whistles and whatever you do when you go hunting. I don't know. I've never been hunting. I mean, I duck hunted, but it was like Nintendo.
That was the game to play.
I was great at it. And
Me
you
too.
shot those clay things. And I mean, I was like, I can do this shit. This is not hard. So Mike and Denise are married, and she's not having to really work because he is now making $200,000 a year. And this is back in 90s.
Oh, yeah. 90s. Basically
so
a
that's
millionaire.
like, yes. So they're good to go. She's living her best life. She's over here. She's getting her hair did. She's getting her nails did. She's going to the massages. She's just got the best clothes. She's got the new car. She's got the nice house. I mean, our life is perfect. Clearly. Why are we talking about her on a podcast? So she is, like, they're perfect. And Mike is, like I said, wanting to be able to provide for her and everything. So in 1999, they finally have a girl. They have a little child. And super excited. Mike was. He was like, this is great. And then Brian and Kathy, they also have their son this year. Okay? Like I said, they do everything together. So then the couples, since in high school and in college, they didn't really like party because they were just dating each other. So now they're kind of wanting to start to get into partying. They're like going out and drinking more. They're going out and going to concerts. And
now that they've had a kid,
they're yes,
like, oh, we
they're
didn't
like,
live our life.
Yes. So this is when they're trying to do it. Okay. Later on, you will hear in a recording that I'm going to play is Brian.
Okay.
The best friend.
Yeah.
He is talking about one of the nights that they all four went out together. And he says that they got into a conversation about sex for the first time with all four of them. Okay.
They're best friends and they haven't talked about sex.
Apparently not. Apparently not like this.
Okay.
And this was the first time that Brian started looking at Denise, Mike's wife, in a different light.
Told you it never works out. Are we listening now?
We're almost there.
Okay.
And so he is like, he's been friends with her for so long, and he's never been attracted to her until right now. And they go, and that same night, like, they're giving each other these looks, and they're like, hey, daddy, you know. And then that same night, they talk on the phone all night long.
Where's the other people? Passed out?
I guess so. He didn't tell us that. But he did say that they really connected.
See what alcohol does?
And they
should have just stopped drinking.
And they had phone sex, April, okay?
Phone sex
So-
all on the first time?
Listen, they know what they want.
Okay.
And they're dedicated. A lot of sexual talk on that phone call. That's probably why they connected. So, Brian is the best friend, right? He goes on to say that even on, like, Denise would work every now and then, and, like, on her lunch breaks, he would go see her, and they would be going and doing the dirty in the car.
Say it again.
Brian on lunch breaks for Denise would go to where she worked, because she worked sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And she would come out to his truck, and they would do it in the truck on the lunch break.
That is so exciting if you're not married to other people.
Yeah.
Or it probably still is still exciting.
Yeah.
But not good.
So then Denise completely stopped sleeping with Mike, her husband, and she is on this full-on relationship with Brian.
Denise.
I don't even know where Kathy is. They don't even say anything about Kathy.
Kathy's breastfeeding the little boy they just had.
So Denise starts complaining about Mike, how he's a workaholic and he's never around, never gives any attention to her. And Brian at the same time is over here like they're going hunting together. And like and then Mike is saying that Denise is not paying any attention to him. So they're both complaining about the same thing to Brian.
Yeah.
Well, then one time they like go hunting somewhere where it's like a 20-hour road trip, and Mike this whole time is confiding in Brian, saying how he's unhappy in his marriage and he's not having sex with Denise, and he just didn't know, like he noticed that money started coming out of the account and he doesn't know if she's like doing drugs or like he's like maybe she's cheating on me, but I don't know what is happening, and I just don't know what
They're
to
screwing
do.
in the car.
Oh, Brian's over here listening to this whole conversation like, I'm so glad that y'all are not having sex because I'm having sex with her and I don't want her having sex with any other man.
So this is making Brian feel real good during this conversation.
Yes. And then Brian starts
Ooh,
saying,
so good.
it's that Manscaped.
Wow.
I know. So Brian is, April got a little wet right there, I think. He is saying that he knows she has been taking money out of the account because they've been going out of town.
Oh.
And they've been like going and doing things out of town. I guess because Brian worked so much. And she would probably just say, oh, do. And I don't know.
What's the other wife's name?
Kathy. I don't know.
Kathy's probably watching the baby, both babies. Kathy's
watching both babies. Well, homegirl's over here getting her nails done. Or no, she's sleeping with Brian. Mike's over here at work because he don't.
Mike.
Listen. So, we're getting closer to a clip. Brian goes on and he talks about how Mike would take these work trips to Destin and Denise would go with.
Okay.
So
hell yeah.
Would go with. And while he was at the conference, like doing his work, whatever, Brian would drive down there and spend the whole day on the beach with Denise. So Mike's at a work conference. He's over here going to meetings, doing his thing, making money for the family, trying to provide this best life.
Hey,
she's over here living her best life on the beach, fucking around with Brian.
She maximized her time.
She actually did. She maximized
her time.
So let me tell you one more thing before I get to this first clip. Brian, do you want to know what he does for his job?
And you didn't tell me he's a slaughtrician. He slaughters. He cuts meat.
He sells life insurance.
I feel like I know the story too.
So he starts talking to Mike and he's like, just doing his job, trying to sell him a life insurance policy. Well, Mike already has a policy, but it's been several years since he's updated it. So he probably's like, yeah, I probably do need to update it. So he goes and he talks to his boss, who's like a father figure to him. And he's like, hey, what are your thoughts? And like, should I up my life insurance? What do I need to do? And the boss is like, well, I mean, you do hunt a lot and you never know when there could be an accident or whatever. And yeah, you might as well make sure that you are able to.
Who was telling him this?
His boss.
His
like,
boss.
This part was completely innocent. So he ends up upping his insurance policy, and he takes out a $1.5 million life insurance policy on top of what he already had.
Okay.
So at this point, he ups his life insurance policy, and Denise is just so tired of being married to him. So tired.
Nice.
And she just really wants him out of the way. But she did not want to get divorced. Did not want to get divorced.
I hate people like this. I hate it. This was Gentry? Wasn't this Darlene Gentry too?
Yes.
She was like, or somebody else that we did.
Yes, this is multiple people. This is multiple.
They're just like, I can't. Catherine, I don't know who it was. Catherine Knight or somebody. They were just like, I can't shame myself with a divorce, but I will shame myself with murder.
Yep. And no, this is the same thing. They didn't want a divorce and they didn't want to split custody.
Are they Catholic?
I didn't say anything about it. So, and Brian, obviously he wants Denise to himself. So he's like, yeah, let's figure out what to do about Mike.
Let's get a plan.
So then they start coming up with a plan. And let me,
Are any of these people hot?
No.
Oh. Then you're just a bunch of ugly people.
Real easy question.
One of the options, Mike worked a lot at night up at his office, and one of the options was that we could make it look as if there was a burglary of some sort up at his office, and that he got shot in some type of robbery or something up at his office. Denise didn't like that idea. I didn't like that idea, and Denise didn't like that idea, but primarily because there would be an investigation if something like that occurred. So another idea, we all used to go out on boats a lot, and Mike had a boat, and another option was that the four of us would go out on a boat out into the Gulf.
The four of you being who?
Me and Kathy and Denise and Mike. And we'd go out in a boat on the Gulf. And basically, that Kathy and Mike would be pushed overboard, and that Denise and I would find a buoy way offshore that we could hold on to and either let the boat sink or let the boat take off on its own or whatever and make it look like we had an accident on the water, and that Denise and I had survived the accident. Another scenario that we came up with was Mike and I going on a hunting trip together, and there being an accident where both he and I ended up in the water, and he drowned and I did not. Denise liked this idea.
Would it be fair to say that having the attention of being a widow was far better in her mind than being a divorcee?
Yes, sir. Better to be a rich widow than a poor divorcee. And her biggest concern with the divorce was she didn't want to share custody of Ansley with Mike. She was not going to have Ansley going back and forth to two different houses.
Oh my God.
So, December 16th, the next clip is the best. December 16th, 2000. Mike was Mike and Denise's 6th wedding anniversary. So Brian and Denise decided this was the day they were going to go through with the plan.
On the anniversary.
Yeah, because listen, that evening, on the 16th, Mike and Denise had planned to go to a resort. They were going to celebrate their anniversary. They were going to rekindle things, and they were just going to, their marriage was going to just blossom, right?
Yeah.
But that morning, Mike was going to go hunting. So he was going hunting that morning, and then they were going to go celebrate their anniversary. But he and Brian were going to go hunting. Well, Brian was supposed to go over, and Brian was going to show him this new place to hunt. Okay. And so the night before, so on the 15th, Brian was like, okay, I need to get Kathy, his wife, like really drunk because he did not want her to wake up the next morning whenever he was not there.
Oh my God, I know this story, but I can't even think of it.
That's how I was with that other one. So Brian decides that he's going to take Kathy to a concert, get her drunk, make sure she sleeps in that next morning and feels bad. But he also decides that he's going to slip a little sleeping pill into her drink too.
Oh.
So he's getting her tore up at the concert, and he's putting sleeping pills. He's doing some Jeffrey Dahmer shit up in here, and he just wants to be sure. So the morning of the 16th, Brian gets up at the butt crack of dawn because it's super early. People go hunting when it's still dark. It's probably like 3 or something. He meets up with Mike at some store. They meet up and, like, I guess follow each other. I don't know why that, whatever. I don't know how that works. But whenever he meets him at the store, he's like, oh, hey, Mike, my phone is dead or it's, like, dying, so just don't call me and just follow me to this new spot.
Okay.
Because he's thinking ahead because he doesn't want to have any signal or any trace of his phone being out there.
Yeah.
So then Mike follows Brian to the spot.
Was this a snapped?
It was on ID.
And because I knew where we were going hunting, I was in the back of the boat driving, and he was in the front.
What kind of boat are we talking about? We're talking about like a large airboat, or what are we talking about?
It was a what's called a canoe. It's basically a canoe that has a flat back that you can put a small motor on the back of it.
I'm familiar with canoes. Canoes can be a little tipsy.
This boat,
the same way?
This boat was, yes, basically like a canoe, so pretty tippy.
Okay. So you put the boat in the water and you're heading out and you're driving?
Yes, sir. I was driving, and I know I was very concerned about the time. Everything had taken longer than what I had anticipated, and I had to be back in town early enough in time to meet my father-in-law for my alibi trip to occur. And so we headed out, and there was a deep area, maybe a couple hundred yards from the landing that we put in at. And we got to that area that I knew was a deep area, and I don't remember exactly how I got him to stand up, but I don't know if I pretended something was wrong with the motor or the weight in the boat was off or something, but I basically stopped the boat and got him to stand up, and when he did, I pushed him into the water.
What happened next?
So he was in the water, and he was like struggling, and the motor of the boat was still running, and I pulled off just a little bit to get kind of away from him so that he couldn't reach back into the boat. And I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know if he was trying to swim, or I didn't know what was going on, but what I came to find out, or eventually realized, was he was taking the waders and the jacket off. And he got those off, and I think I forgot to tell you about this part before, but I remember now that area of the lake had a lot of snags, a lot of dead trees that come up out of the water, and there's a lot of stumps that come up out of the water. And he swam over to one of those stumps and held on to it. And he was panicking, and I was panicking, and none of this was like going well. I thought it was going to go. And I didn't know what to do. But he started to yell. And I didn't know how to get out of that situation. And so I had my gun in the boat. And so I loaded my gun, and I made one or two circles around, and I ended up circling closer towards him, and he was in the water, and as I passed by, I shot him.
Where did you shoot him?
In the head.
I remember. Oh my God.
So
he had opportunity and opportunity and opportunity to get out of that situation.
Oh, yeah. So his plan was never to shoot him. He wanted him to, but he just wanted him to basically
drown.
Yeah. So then he would be like, I didn't kill him. He just drowned or whatever. But since it wasn't going right, he just panicked. He said he closed his eyes and so he wouldn't see his face when he shot him, and he just shot him right there. But the only thing because it was so dark, all you could see was the light from the shot. I guess it there's a light. I don't know. But this is a whole, I can tag or post this in the episode description. The whole link to this testimony. So he then sticks his arm in the water, pulls his body up, and he brings the body up over near his vehicle. Because what's he going to do with him? He can't just let him drown and let the body just be floating out there.
Why? He's done killed him. How's that going to help his story?
Well, you're about to find out. Because he can't just, he pulls his truck near the water, and, you know, it's at an angle like the boat ramp. It's at an angle, and so now he's easily able to put Mike's body into the back of the truck because it's, like, pretty close to the water. And they ask him later on in this interview, they're like, how were you able to, like, pick up this whole lifeless body just by yourself? Because they're like, you didn't have any help. And he's like, I don't know, adrenaline. Just like, I just needed to get him out of there. I knew they couldn't just be like, find a body out here. No, you know, whatever. So he puts him in the truck. He goes home. It's still early enough in the morning. And so Mike is just in the back of the dead body in the back of the truck, goes up, crawls in bed with his wife, lightly kisses her on the cheek just enough so she knows that he's there.
Oh, my God.
He then calls, and she doesn't wake up, but she's just like, oh, okay. Calls his father-in-law because that morning he is supposed to go hunting with his father-in-law.
Yes.
So he calls his father-in-law from the house, is like, oh, we were out late. I'm not going to be able to make it to go hunting, whatever.
And that was supposed to be his alibi.
Yes, but at least now he's made a call from his house, so it's showing he is at home. He's called his father-in-law. He's kissed his wife. He then is like, okay, I've got all those bases covered. Now let me go figure out what to do with this body. But, by the way, something leaking out the back of the truck. It's blood. Leaks out the back of the truck onto the driveway. So, you know, he's already panicking. Obviously, he just killed his best friend. So he's like washing off the driveway, and then he goes and he like wipes off the tailgate. He cleans it off. It's fine. He goes then. He's like, I got to figure out what to do with this body. He drives 60 miles away to go to Walmart because he's going to buy a tarp, a rope, and some weights. Okay? But he was like planning to go put him in this, like weigh him down in another river and whatever. He just wanted him to be somewhere where he was not going to be found, like not a typical place where they go hunting. But while he's in Walmart, he runs into a friend.
Oh, God.
And, of course, then he starts panicking even more. Nothing ever happens with that, but it's just, like, causing him to panic more. So he gets out to wherever to some lake a river where he's going to leave his body. Well, this body of water is, like, low. It's receded. Mm-hmm. There's, like, random little holes, I guess, like, where it just said like mud holes. Like it was just little holes that were kind of where when the water comes back up, it'll cover up these spots.
Yeah.
But it was muddy enough to where he was able to dig and he could essentially put the body in there and then hope that the water would cover it up eventually. So he goes, he starts digging out this hole. He gets the body out, puts the body on this tarp, drags the tarp over to one of these mud holes, digs a little deeper, puts him in there. So now, like you said, hoping the water will cover him up. But as he's doing this, he like starts getting eaten up by ants, and he's like, "Oh gosh, are people going to ask me why I'm eaten up by these ants?"
Everything's going wrong.
Everything. And then a car drives up.
Oh God.
A car drives up on the middle. He's in the middle of burying his best friend that he just killed.
Oh, it's his best friend from high school.
Yes, and he like kind of scurries away, goes and talks to this guy in the car, just like shooting the shit with him, whatever. And it's like some other guy who's out there hunting, and he just plays it cool. And at the time, Brian says he's thinking that this is like a law enforcement guy, but they just were like, okay, have fun hunting, whatever. And then the car drives off. So much happening. Brian gets everything covered up. And he leaves, and he goes to meet with his family because his wife's family was talking about some Christmas dinner. So they just go, and they're just planning Christmas dinner.
Yeah, it's about to be Christmas.
Yep.
So he puts the body where he needs to, and he does everything he needs to.
Yep.
And now he's just back and
living his life.
Having Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm. So later that evening, finally Denise is like, oh, where's Mike? He's not home. So she starts panicking. Finally, she calls Mike's mom. She calls her sister, she calls family, she calls 911, reports her husband missing, and they end up finding Mike's truck and boat trailer at Lake Seminole, but they find no boat. People are out there searching, hundreds of people. Everybody in the community knew who he was.
They find the boat and,
they find the truck and the boat trailer.
But not the boat.
But no boat. Well, the boat was just kind of, he
left the boat in the water.
Yes. The
Billy?
boat had just like floated out.
Okay.
But we do find out later, we're like, the boat, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But yes, everybody's devastated. Like, they knew how nice the guy was, whatever. And, apparently at this lake, there's been several, like 80 drownings, but everybody who's drowned has been found, or the body's been found, or they were rescued. And so this is very odd that they're out here searching for this guy who's drowned and nobody can find him. Like, he's nowhere to be found. He's literally missing. Let's take a break.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that one-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a one-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
911, what's your emergency?
Do you hear that? It's coming from the house.
It's coming from inside the house? Do you mean? Could it be?
The Poltergeist. New from Rogue Media. Two haunted hotties talking about haunted places. Every episode we dive deep into the darkest places and give you a bit of history.
We're getting spooky in all the right places.
You've gobbled your last ghoul.
Follow along for the craziest and spookiest stories with Debbie's Dark Tourism. The Stanley Hotel,
Winchester House,
the Alamo,
Hotel Monte Vista,
and more spooky places. Find us at _Poltergals. POLTERGALS.
Look over your shoulder. It's us, the Poltergals.
Wherever you consume the podcast, you can find us there.
And now back to the show.
Hey.
So guess who was out there searching for Mike? Hardcore.
Oh, Denise probably.
Nope, Brian.
Oh, Brian.
Because Brian's dad thought of Mike as like another son. Like they were so close. So he's out there like they're actually the ones who find Mike's boat. What a shock. So the dad is like wanting him like keeping Brian out there to search hours of the night.
Yes.
Because he's like, he's got to be here. Here's his boat. Here's this, whatever. Like, he's got to be here. They find nothing else. There's no anything. Like, the waiters, a hat, an ID, nothing. They don't find anything. They just find the boat. So, of course.
And that should turn up because he took that off when he was in the water. Before he attached himself to just like a stump.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's this extensive search, like apparently the most extensive one that they've ever done in that area. And after about, 44 days? A month and a half?
Mm-hmm.
A month and a half, the police and stuff, they start to see alligators are out there. And so they are like, I'm pretty sure Mike fell off his boat, drowned, and was eaten by alligators. Yeah, case closed.
Florida swamp.
So no criminal investigation is ever opened. And, of course, good old grieving wife is not out here trying to be on the news. She's not trying to be like, keep this case open. Let's find him. Let's do this. Here's posters. Let's this. There's no way he's dead. Nothing. No. She don't do any of that. She's just,
I just like wonder, okay, so you talk about it and you talk about it and you talk about it, right? After you have sex or whatever. And then after it's done, is it still the same? I wonder. Like, are they still like
I doubt
having sex and that excited? It can't be.
The excitement is the thrill. Now, just cheat. Just keep cheating. Just keep cheating.
Yes.
You don't need to go and kill.
Don't leave
because that's a now you've killed
everything.
And now
all the fun.
Now you both have this guilty conscience. I don't know how to even enjoy. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna. No, I don't understand.
No.
But all this whole time, Brian's mom, Cheryl, is DTF.
Down to find.
So 6 months go by.
Wait, Brian's the killer.
Did I say Brian's mom?
Yeah.
Damn it! I knew I was gonna mess it up. Mike's mom.
Okay.
Murdered guy who died. Mike.
Okay.
Mike's mom, Cheryl. She got these
down to find.
You should. I can show you a picture. She's real funny. She always wears pigtails, gray pigtails.
Is that why you got on pigtails today?
Oh yeah. This is just one braid. It's not two.
Oh, okay.
I'm not Pippi. 6 months later, June 2021. No, that's not the right year. 6 months
2012.
later. Yeah, it's like 2000. I'm dyslexic and ADHD. We'll just say that. Mike is declared legally dead by the county judge.
She's about to get her money.
So listen. Also, about or like before this, Denise is wanting to have a memorial, but Cheryl, Mike's mom, is like, no, we gotta find him.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, in order for one of the
Insurance
things,
money
in order to
pay
get
out.
yes, if you don't have so in order for Denise to claim life insurance policy, which is this over this like it's almost like a $2 million policy.
Wow.
She has to have a death certificate. In order to have a death certificate without a body, you have to
have a funeral.
Yes, you have to have had a funeral or a memorial or something, and you have to be able to show like ID, or whatever. Typically, without a body, it said it would take 5 years to get this insurance, but she's able to rush it within 6 months because so many people are on her side. They felt bad for her. And also, Brian was able to help her rush it. And the dad, Brian's dad, I'm assuming Brian's dad also worked for this insurance because they say like he also helped rush it, but he was concerned for her. Brian's dad was like totally just like, I just want her to be able to get this money, to be able to pay her bills, and just live.
He thought he was helping Mike
take
care of his family. Let's give her what she needs so she can live.
Yes. So the mom, Cheryl, is like not about any of this. She does not agree. She thinks that she actually gets like this alligator investigator. That's like a joke. That's
Cheryl.
Yes. And it was like, is it possible that this could have happened? Because apparently alligators won't be out there when it's cold. And that certain night, there was like a cold front. It was like 18 degrees. And they're like, there's no way that alligators are out there feeding at that time. So there's this random information that's coming up. And so this is why Cheryl was like, DTF.
Yes.
And she knows, like,
This can't be the end of this.
Let that all sink in. And just when you think it couldn't get any weirder, do you have any guesses of what is about to come up?
No.
Regarding Brian and Denise.
Denise is pregnant.
Ooh, that would have been a good one. But no, not long after, Brian divorces Kathy. No surprise. And then Brian,
Kathy's just lost.
Kathy's still breastfeeding. She's still out there breastfeeding.
She's just lost, and she
don't even know
still
what.
got a hangover. She don't know what's going on.
She's hungover from the sleeping pill, being drunk. She got a baby. She breastfeed. This baby,
Poor Kathy, but
this
you know
baby
what? Kathy
has
was
been an
gonna die
infant
too.
for years.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kathy
was gonna die too. So at least she didn't die.
At least she gone. She ain't even.
You know who's the dirtiest is Denise, because she didn't like the plan where they were both there at the crime scene.
Oh, yeah.
She liked the plan where it was all Brian doing the dirty work.
Denise.
I think Denise is going to turn on Brian.
Okay. So Brian moves into Denise's house. You know, Mike's old house, best friend's old house, literally sleeping in this man's bed. Oh, but wait. Just wait. In 2005, they get married. Yes.
Oh, wait. This is 4 years later.
He done went and married his best friend's wife, and who they both killed. Lord, can you even? Yes. Sold him life insurance policy, the whole thing.
That's how you know you're. Oh my goodness, I can't.
So this whole time, you're like years and years and years and years go by. Okay.
Podcast over.
Mama down. She's DTF. She's out there standing on the street corners with signs. She's like not accepting any of it. She's like, he did not fall off that boat. He did not drown.
No.
There's no other drownings out there been like eaten by alligators. Like, this is stupid. And like,
is she suspecting them at all?
She doesn't know. She's not suspecting them yet. But then she starts to, once she called that alligator investigator, that when they said it's pretty much impossible that he was eaten by alligator, she goes to Denise and she's like, I'm not giving up on finding my son, your husband, like, or your whatever ex-husband. And Denise flips out and is like, well, if you do anything to open up a criminal investigation, you are no longer going to see your granddaughter. This bitch. So Mama lose contact because she is DTF and now she don't know what to do.
My son
so
first.
Now we'll go 10 more years forward. So it's 2016.
Wow.
So it's been 10 years.
Are they still together?
Denise and Brian have a falling out. I'm so shocked. So I'm so sorry, Denise.
Yeah, because Brian really is butt ugly.
Yeah.
Denise is butt ugly.
These people.
You should have kept it at the affair.
Just keep having an affair. So.
No.
Remind me to tell you about this Hulu documentary.
Okay.
At the end. Okay. I gotta stop snorting at this mic, but I can't help it. So now Denise wants to get a divorce from Brian because they married, and it's gonna make him mad. But she kicks him out the house, and he about to lose it. He about to go crazy. But Denise has no idea. She does not really know what she's gotten herself into. She's over here. She's like trying to kick him out. She wants to live her best single life now. She's trying to go back to the nail salons and do all this stuff. I mean, she's basically a multimillionaire because she's got rid of all of her husbands now. She's got rid of all of her husbands. She's like, oh, got rid of all my husbands. I'm clean. We're good to go. No. This bitch gets in her car one day. She's on the phone with her sister. She's driving to go wherever. She gets in the car, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, pops up Brian in the back seat. He's hiding in the back seat. He pops up, puts a gun to her side, and starts threatening to kill her.
Yeah, bitch, I killed your husband for you, and now you want to leave me.
Yes, and he's talking about he's going to kill himself. He's talking about he's going to kill her. She's freaking out. It's they're in there for like an hour, and she then starts like talking like, oh, it's okay. We'll get back together. Like, I still love you. Just like trying to calm him down. So he'll like obviously put the gun down and like saying they'll work it out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, she gets free. She calls 911. The police come. They arrest Brian. He gets charged with kidnapping, domestic assault, armed burglary, and then
she turns on him.
Good old Denise goes up into this damn courtroom, and she's over here crying about how she's so scared of him. About to tell you.
She's as bad as Papini. Who's worse, her or Papini?
I think she is.
He was waiting for me in the back of my car with a gun. He grabbed the steering wheel. He shoved the gun in my ribcage, screaming profanities uncontrollably at me. I will never be the same. I can't sleep. I can't eat because I only see him rising up out of the back of the car because all I feel is the gun shoved in my ribs. I can't have peace because I only hear his voice screaming and cussing at me. Please don't let him out.
Listen, no.
Listen, I don't want to hear your voice again. She goes on, reads this letter. She reads a letter from her daughter, who's now a teenager. The daughter's over here saying, this is my stepdad. Oh, yeah, now I guess that's just stepdad. I don't know. And
the daughter,
right? It's like, so Denise is over here.
Mike's daughter.
Yes.
Is, okay.
So Denise reads a letter saying, like, she's reading this letter from her daughter, like, because she's trying to do anything to get Brian to be in jail.
Okay.
And so Brian ends up getting 20 years in prison. And
for doing that to her?
Yes. Just wait. So now he's sitting up in there and he's watching this bitch be talking about all this stuff like, oh, this heifer.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're trying to go against me. So he's like, she sure didn't cry whenever I killed her husband and when she was collecting that $1.5 million. She sure wasn't crying then.
No. And that's how stupid she is.
Yeah, because she's over here thinking she got rid of another one. So he's over here thinking. He's just got sentenced 20 years. And all the while, Mama's out here. She's still DTF. And at this point, it's been 18 years.
No.
So investigators talk to Brian, and they're like, "You really gonna let this? You're gonna sit out here and let this woman say these things?" And
they're thinking, no, they're knowing by now. They just can't prove it.
They're like, you're in here for yes. So Brian cuts a deal with.
Come on, Brian.
Them, yes, and he told them everything. He told them where the body was, and they said he would be completely immune if he testified against her in court, telling everything. That's why we have this whole entire testimony of him in detail describing this whole situation.
Is he immune to what he did to her or to the murder
He's
of
immune
Mike?
to the murder
of Mike, but he still has to serve his 20?
Yes.
For that?
Yes.
Wow.
So he testifies against her in court in May 2018.
Oh.
So Denise is arrested on charges of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and accessory after the fact. 7 months later, Denise is found guilty on all 3 charges.
Thank you.
Sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 30 years for conspiracy to the murder, for conspiracy.
Yes.
But
these blonde bitches get away with everything.
Listen.
What's going to happen? She's going to get a break.
November
feel sorry
of 2020. Appeal.
Okay.
Now,
people feel sorry for her.
I don't think that they did. It's just that there wasn't, I was kind of surprised she was convicted for the murder when there's literally no evidence. You're just getting there's no evidence of her being at the crime scene.
Or even masterminding it or planning it.
Right.
He's
It's
just saying it. His
hearsay.
Yeah.
So her conviction is overturned.
No.
But she still has to serve 30-year sentence for conspiracy to commit murder. For fuck's sake. I know. FFS. I was doing this story and I'm like, yes. And then I literally found that last detail, like at the very end. I was like, oh, hell no.
Mm-mm.
So we can just pretend we don't hear that detail.
So she's still in jail.
So she's still in there.
Not actually for the murder of Mike.
Correct. And I believe that Brian, he only got the 20 years. I don't know. I mean,
but they're not young people.
Yeah.
So that's most of his life. And then Denise and Mike's daughter, where are they with probably Mama Cheryl?
Well, they're old, grown now because it's been 18 years.
Oh, yeah. Wow. This is what I can't get over. He got 20 years for being, he did hold a gun to his wife, but for really just being pissed at you. It's like a domestic disturbance.
Yes. Yes.
Because, I don't know. Or 30 years. What's
20. He got
years.
20 for just, it wasn't attempted murder.
Or
was it? He wasn't charged with that. I guess he was charged with kidnapping and whatever.
Wow.
David DePappy is probably going to not even get, he's probably going to get more than that.
I feel like the moral of the story is don't go to Florida States.
I think the moral of the story is
don't go to Florida
States. When you cheat on your spouse, just cheat. You ain't got to kill him.
Yeah.
And don't go to Florida State. Anywhere in Florida.
For a long period of time.
Just don't live there. You know what? I think Texas is just as bad as Florida. So,
but we got to pick on Florida because you think about Ted Bundy and the Chi Omega, and then little Austin Harriff, our eater, or dog eater guy.
Well, you know what? Don't go to Wisconsin either. So there you go.
I'm so mad.
I know.
I hate when people just can't have I'm not saying go have an affair. I'm not co-signing on that. But if you're going to have an affair, just have a fucking affair. Why do you need to, leave your why do you need to kill your spouse? Why do you need to leave your family? Why do you need to get some insurance money? It never works out.
Greedy,
it never
greedy,
works out.
greedy.
Look at Darlene Gentry. Yep, she's the new worst. She beat Liz. She beat Papini.
She's pretty bad.
The worst.
She's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
She's
deal.
pretty bad.
That was a good story.
Yeah, so
I
go
heard
look.
it, but I had no recollection. It's like as you said it, it sparked some of those memories, but I couldn't remember.
It was pretty
what
wild.
actually happened.
I was like, I had to get pictures out to keep track of all the people, but
wow.
Then I understood it.
Wow.
So there you
Florida
go.
State. Y'all. There's no telling what we're going to bring you next week. So
No.
just get ready. Get ready. I have about 3 stories I'm deciding right now. And they're all their own little crazy. So just get ready for it. Caroline, what do they need to go do before they leave?
You need to go to manscaped.com and you need to go and order the Performance Package 4.0. And you can use the promo code BHH and get free shipping.
Also, go to Apple Podcast and rate, review, and subscribe. Okay, y'all. This was so much fun. We will see y'all next time. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be TTF.
Down to fine, like Mama Cheryl.
Mama Cheryl was down to fine with them pigtails.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.